Shields up, Ironbreakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video, and welcome back to the best games of 2017. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Persona 5, which if you haven't heard about Persona 5 yet, then you haven't really been paying attention. This is one of the best experiences we've had this year, whether you look at it from a storytelling perspective, from a gameplay perspective, from a visuals perspective, from an audio perspective. The game just pretty much delivers on every single front.
You are truly as he anticipated. This is truly an unjust game. But if my voice is reaching you, I beg you, please overcome this game and save the world.
So how can I even possibly describe the gameplay of Persona? Well, during daytime, you're going to be playing as a teenager, which essentially has to lead an everyday life. He has to hang out with his friends. He has to go out to the movie. He has to do chores, work. He has to do all of the things that you would kind of expect from someone, a regular functioning member of society. However, later in the night, or maybe not even the night, I think it's actually in the afternoon usually. In the afternoon, sometimes he will grab his group of friends and they will go into the mind palaces of evil people and try to change their minds for the better. And I know this all sounds very metaphysical, kind of weird. You kind of go from this completely based on reality concept to this completely virtual imagination field thing. But what I can tell you is that it works really, really well. The whole theme that they've done for Persona 5, the Phantom Thieves of Hearts, and even just the way that they tell the storyline, the way the story begins.
I'll navigate your escape route. Follow my directions. Enemies here?
Suspect confirmed. Cuff him.
It can't be.
Think that all those crimes were led by a punk like this. You seem to be enjoying every second.
The way the story evolves, the way you get to know about the main character, the way you get to know about all of his friends and how he frees them and all of the struggles that they face together. All of that manages to create an experience that, again, is one of those experiences that you can really only have in video games, which is something that I value a lot. Because, you know, like I usually say, any game can just like tell a story that you could watch in a movie. Not a lot of games manage to tell a story in which you actually have a lot of agency in, and you can actually tell that this story can only be told this way. These experiences can only be experienced this way. And in my opinion, it does a great job at doing that. I mean, just like looking at visuals alone, this is a game that I believe in Japan, and also there's also a European version of it that is a PlayStation 3 game. And you guys are like, wow, PlayStation 3, but it's PS4. Most people play it on PS4, right? Well, yes, but the thing is, the game was originally designed with PS3 in mind. And when you look at the visuals of the game, you're like, oh man, the game looks so good, right? That's usually what people think. And the impressive thing is, in those visuals, none of it is about visual fidelity. None of it is about resolution. You know, none of it is about the things that a lot of people pay a lot of attention to. It's all about the art.
You transferred to Shujin Academy, correct?
I feel like we're gonna get along just fine as troublemakers.
Looks like you'll just have to live a normal, honest school life for the time being. Still, make sure you stay prepared just in case anything comes up.
The art direction in that game, the presentation, just oozes style, and it makes for a game that looks so damn good. Whether it is your characters performing their special attacks, whether it is a particular boss fight where you can really see the art direction of the game, or even just navigating the menus themselves of the UI. The game just oozes style all over the place. But just the visuals alone are nothing without the beautiful soundtrack that this game has. This is hands down the best soundtrack we've had this year. And we've had a year that has a lot of really good soundtracks. Like, I'm talking Xenoblade Chronicles 2 soundtrack is friggin' fantastic. Mario Odyssey soundtrack is fantastic. What was the other one? Nier Automata soundtrack is fantastic. We got a lot of really good soundtracks this year, and Persona 5 still manages to, in my opinion, come out on top because of just the sheer variety of music that you get. And it is one of those games where usually when you're in a fight and a particular music comes up, you just want to pump the volume up and really just blast that music as loud as you can and just really get into it. I mean, anyone who's watched my streams of Persona, you guys know whenever we would get to a specific boss fight or something, I would just like blast the music and just like start really getting into it because that's how good the music is in there.
Spotted a shadow. Let's get it, Joker!
The shadows are ready to kill. Be careful, Joker.
So I'm talking, even without visual fidelity or resolution, we're talking about some of the best visuals that we've seen this year. We're talking about the best art direction in a game that I personally have seen this year. And the best soundtrack that we've seen this year. Now you guys are like, what about the gameplay? When it comes to JRPGs, the gameplay is freaking fantastic. It's obviously going to be turn-based. You're going to be selecting different characters, and different characters will have different strengths and weaknesses. And depending on the enemies that you are fighting, you will also have to use specific elements that counter their element in order to like knock them down. When you knock them all down, you get to do specific attacks. And they bring back something from, I believe it is from Shin Megami Tensei, which is a title that I personally haven't played that much. As a matter of fact, I haven't played it at all, but I do plan on changing that when Shin Megami Tensei comes to the Switch next. Is it next year or is it the year after? I don't know. Whenever that comes out, I'm definitely playing the crap out of Shin Megami Tensei. But one of the things that they bring back is also the whole thing where you're negotiating with the shadows. And actually, are they called shadows in this one? I think they are. I'm sorry, I might be confusing it with Persona 4. I haven't played Persona 5 in a while, if I'm to be completely honest. I never got to finish it. I played like 50 hours of it, and I plan on going back to it, but it's just been a really busy year. But it's just like they bring back that whole thing where you're negotiating with the shadows and you have to answer certain questions. Depending on how you answer, you can either get more treasure, or you can get that shadow to work for you, or you can, you might fail and the shadow just attacks you and does a critical attack. And there are some really cool mechanics when it comes to gameplay, but on top of all of this, there is also a fantastic story being told, some really deep characters that have real problems that you can kind of identify with some of the problems that these characters have. And as the protagonist, you get to influence those characters for the better. You get to interact with them. You get to do all of these social things. And now you guys are like, oh, but what if I just want to stick more with the gameplay? Why would I really want to experience all of these other social elements that you're talking about? And the thing is, it's all together. It all meshes in real well, because the things that you do outside of that virtual world, outside of the mind palaces, all of the things that you do, whether you're hanging out with a friend, the social experiences, whether you're going out to the movies to enjoy a movie, which yes, you can go do that. You're not going to actually see a movie, but your character will go to the movies, whether you're going to a diner to study. Every single action that you perform out in the real world has influence in gameplay, whether that is by changing up your stats, whether that is by unlocking new social links with your characters, which give you access to additional skills and persona fusions and all of these different things that you can achieve. And all of it manages to mesh real well in a way that a lot of you guys might think that it wouldn't work, but it does.
The world is not as it should be. It faces an inevitable utter ruin. However, mankind is said to hold the power to overturn even the most dire of predicaments.
And it's fantastic, in my opinion. It's just, this is one of those games that it's not even whether you might like it or you might not like it. It's one of those games that basically, if you are a gamer, right? If you are someone who enjoys video games, I'm 99% certain that you will enjoy Persona. Even if you're someone who you might think, I don't like turn-based RPGs, I don't like them, try it out. At least, I wish there was a demo so that I could tell people to go try out the demo. Unfortunately, I don't think there is one. But like, maybe you have a friend. Maybe you have a friend that has the game. Ask them to loan it to you. Try it out. You have to really try it out, because Persona 5 will make you a believer. At least that is my personal opinion. I love the game, and I cannot recommend Persona 5 enough. Without a doubt, one of the best games that we've had in 2017. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.